Hi all, hope you are all well out there. I wanted to share with you this very simple practice that anybody can use to increase their happiness, their optimism, their joy, their energy, whatever it is, particularly if you're generally quite prone to anxious feelings, if you're prone to stress, if you're prone to feeling low. This practice here, this technique, will be of enormous benefit to you, because so often the problems that we are facing are merely projections of the mind. They are phantoms and illusions of the mind, and they can be safely disregarded. But whenever we say this, we recognize that although we even may intellectually realize, yeah, that's true, that seems to make sense, a lot of these problems are in my own head, and we may have these beliefs that, oh, you know, I'm just the type of, I'm an overthinker, I just overthink things, or I just have a very stressful life situation, so, you know, that's just me, that's just my life. And we don't realize, we don't actually know that this doesn't have to be the case, that you do have an option and you do have a choice, that you don't have to put up with being in this relentless, stressful, chaotic thought stream. There is another way, and this is the way that I would like to show you here. This is a beautifully simple practice, and when you hear it and when you practice it, you will immediately think, this cannot be this simple. Surely it cannot be this simple. But this is why it's a tricky practice, and why it's a discipline, and why it takes work to practice. Work is the wrong word. It's not work. This is why it takes discipline to maintain this practice, because the mind has an infinite number of reasons to come in and say, it can't be this simple, it can't be this easy, oh, this isn't for you, this might be useful at some point for some people, but no, it's not quite for us, not quite now. This is just the mind, this is just the mind. And this technique is something called presence. Presence as in the present moment, and aligning yourself with the present moment and the present moment only. This is the root and the core of all spiritual practices, all of them. Even if we look at the more Western, scientific, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, all of these clinically studied things, same principle, all the way through to all of our Hinduism, Buddhism, Advaita Vedanta, Zen, all of these sorts of things. All of those philosophies, they have presence at their very core. So what do I mean when I say presence? To become fully present is to become very serene and very peaceful, because you are no longer at the mercy of your thoughts. If you are fully present, you cannot be worried about the future, because you realize, and truly feel that the future does not exist, because it doesn't. Have you ever actually been there? Have you ever woken up a couple of weeks into the future and, oh my God, I didn't have everything prepared that I needed to have prepared? The future never arrives. Has anybody been there and then came back and said, yeah, I've just been a couple of weeks into the future, a couple of years into the future here? It doesn't exist. It doesn't. But we spend so much of our time projecting our fears and our delusions and our ruminations and worries about the future, and we spend a lot of our time there in our head, which is a very stressful place to be, because your mind can imagine an infinite number of awful things that are going to happen in the future. We are also always underneath this weight of everything that has happened in the past. And we are constantly revisiting these old wounds, these painful memories, these painful thoughts, or maybe even pleasant memories. And we might even have a pleasant memory and be like, oh, I wish I could go back. We might remember like a holiday or something and be like, oh, I wish I could go back there. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go back there. I was so much happier back then. So we think, I was so much happier back then. The future's going to be awful. And I just am utterly miserable in the present moment. Once we learn to drop the past and drop our thoughts of the future and simply stay put where you are right now, then you will feel peace. By dropping away all of these things, you suddenly have this surge of appreciation for everything that is here now. Even the bits that really, if you could change them, you probably would change them. You might have some aches and pains. The situation might not be 100% comfortable. There may be something that isn't quite how you would like it to be. You can still accept and allow everything within this present moment, and the present moment alone, to find that inner spaciousness, that joy, that peace. All of the love and the compassion from the universe can start to flood in. But I don't want you to take my word for it. I don't want you to take this away and think about it and decide, yes, no, there's some credit to what he's saying there. I'm going to go away and have a think about this, and I will decide how much of this I would like to believe. We're actually going to practice it right now. The reason I can do this practice, and I know that it's helpful for absolutely everybody, is because I know that it only ever is the present moment. When you are watching this, it will be the present moment. Whenever you watch it, it will still be the present moment. Nobody will ever, ever, ever be able to tell me otherwise. So you are very secure in this. You are very safe and very stable in this knowledge and in this practice, because although your thoughts may wander to the future, and your thoughts may wander to the past, and memories may arise and surface, even when this happens, this is all happening within the present moment. You actually, whether you choose to align yourself with the present moment or not, you are still here. You are. There's nowhere else to go. You have to stay here. It's not your choice. Wouldn't it be a good idea to make friends with the present moment, to align with it, to start to move with the universe rather than constantly trying to resist it? So, just for a short while now, you can pick it all up again later if you choose to, sure. But just for this time now, start to take some deeper breaths, and we're going to drop everything. All of it. Even that just came up for you. Drop it. Drop it now. Your mind and your thoughts are going to start trying to grab at your attention. Oh, this is stupid. This isn't going to work. It's not going to work for me. Oh, it might work for other people, but he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. This thing happened to me in the past and it makes it impossible to be happy now. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Whatever it is, whatever you have been through, whatever pain you have experienced, whatever you have suffered, whatever it is, disregard. Drop it, drop it, drop it. Remain only now. Thoughts of the future may start to nag, they bubble up, and they start trying to claw at your attention. You don't have time for this now. Maybe watch this video. Maybe we'll watch this video again later when I've got a bit of time. Yeah, actually, no, I like what he's saying. I'm going to watch it later. Thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. They are a total illusion. Drop them. Let them go. They do not help you. You have suffered enough. Presence now. Deep breaths. Feel everything. Really feel it. Really do it now. Whatever the present moment has for you right now, really feel it. Let it in. Allow it. The mind will do what it does naturally and attempt to grab your attention away from the present moment. This is fine. This is what the mind naturally does. We simply ignore it. Like a hungry dog pawing at your leg, trying to get some food. If you keep feeding it, it will keep coming back. Ignore the dog. It will go away. Stay present. Ignore all of these thoughts. Past thoughts, future thoughts. Even ignore any thoughts about the present. Ignore thoughts that are saying, I'm not doing this right. This isn't the right time to do this. This will be of benefit at some other point. Any thoughts like this, drop them, drop them, drop them. Simply feel where you are now. There is no next moment. It never arrives. Never. So you may do this practice, and you can do it at any time, at any point, whether you're standing in a queue at Tesco, whether you're at work answering emails, stressed out. Bring yourself straight back in, recenter, refocus, check in with the present moment. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday and tomorrow, these are illusionary fantasy lands that are far, far away. They will never, ever, ever be able to get into today, right now. You may start to feel this peace, spaciousness, clarity, and clearness. And then the mind comes in, starts going. It's like, oh yeah, it's all very well and good. It's all nice and everything, but what about that next thing? I've got that appointment that I've got to. Yeah, what was that now? No, I need to go and make dinner. Tell you what, I'll go and make dinner, and then I'll return to this whole presence thing later. thoughts, thoughts, thoughts. Allow a little space here. Your thoughts won't help you here. You've been thinking for long enough. You have suffered enough. We may need our thoughts to discern and plan occasionally, but we've had too much worry, too much stress, too much planning. We've had enough apps, we've had enough screens, we've had enough spreadsheets, enough numbers, enough bullshit. You have had enough of all of it. Just for some time, see what happens. You don't have to take my word for it. Simply observe. Observe what happens when you stay fully present. It will surprise you. It will. The mind paints a very gloomy picture here. Oh, but if I'm just present, then I'm not going to look forward to anything in the future, and I can't have any value from anything from the past. It's not true. It's not true. In fact, it will be so much better for you when you can appreciate in full gratitude and love, appreciation of everything that you have right here, right now. Not in some imaginary time in the future, not in some inaccessible place in the past, but here. What do you have here? This is incredible. You can't add anything to consciousness. You can't add anything to it. There's no downloadable content you can bring in here. There is no thing that you can buy to add. There is nothing to be done. Nothing. Nothing to be done, nothing to add, nothing to imagine, nothing to improve. In the present moment, and the present moment alone, you will find yourself. And when you find yourself, you will become invincible. Meaning, I am not saying that you will never suffer pain, but I am saying that you will never suffer pain in the same way again. It cannot hurt the self. The self needs no defense. None. Try it. Try it. You will feel that which I am speaking about. You simply have to experience it and feel it, even for a second. You see, you may get a glimmer of it, just for a second. Just that second of present moment awareness. If you get it for a second, you are the Buddha for a second. All enlightened beings have felt this. And that little glimmer of peace and joy and compassion will grow, and it will burn away all of this stress and negativity from the past. It will burn away all of your worry and projection about the future, and you will, for the first time in years and years and years, finally feel some peace. Empty, spacious, and clear. I hope some of that has been useful for you. I would be very, very interested to know how you got on. So please either drop me a message or a comment, whatever it is. I would just be very interested to know. If it felt like a complete load of rubbish, let me know that as well. If it was amazing for you and you really got it, I would like to know that too. If you are in the Exmouth area or around that area, I'm going to start some guided meditation sessions on Exmouth Beach. We are going to do that on Sundays, Sunday evenings, beginning in March, in the second week of March. So it would be a real pleasure and a real honour if some of you came down to experience group meditation and experience the group presence and the group energy field. There's no charge. If you can't pay anything, there's no charge to it. Please just come down. If you do wish to donate me anything, then you can do that as well. It's completely up to you. Every teacher, they don't really call them teachers, they call them various things, but anybody who has experienced a level of peace, a level of enlightenment, has done however many hours of meditation, have you ever noticed they all say the same thing? They all point towards the same thing. Take no thought for the morrow. What is the quote? Take no thought for the morrow. Watch the lilies of the field. They neither toil nor spin. Yet not Solomon in all his glory is arrayed like one of these. Meaning, the natural flowers of the field are beautiful and perfect, and they never, ever think about tomorrow. I'll leave you with that. Thank you for watching.